Mark Tatum, Deputy Commissioner and COO of the National Basketball Association.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Dr. Richard Lapchick, thanks for being with us here on R&R on Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Civil rights icon, Dr. Edwards, how are you today?
I'm doing a heck of a lot better than I deserve, I'll tell you that.
Sports commentator, Scoop Jackson.
Good to be back on with you all.
Ian Griffey Jr., how are you today, sir?
I'm good. How about you guys?
It's R&R on Sports.
R&R on Sports. R&R on R&R.
Welcome to R&R on Sports. I'm Howard Robertson.
I'm the great one, Larry Robinson. What's up, man?
Hey, man. How you doing?
What's up, America?
Larry that wants to be Smokey.
Oh,
Robinson.
man. And hey, listen, that's my
That
great
is-
uncle. That's
it
my
is-
great uncle.
okay.
That's my great
I know
uncle.
you should
I
try
like
to
that.
sing falsetto and try to be up there with
I don't try. I do it,
no,
and
no,
I do
you
a
try.
fantastic
No, it
job.
would be trying
The
for you.
genes from
It would be
great
trying.
great
It would
uncle
be
Smokey
trying.
Robinson has definitely transferred through the DNA. So, what you talking about? What you talking about? So, listen, man, R&R
Your
stands
great-uncle
for
was probably Sugar
Relax
Ray.
and Repeat. It stands for Robertson and Robinson.
Uh-huh.
It stands for rest and relaxation.
Okay.
It stands for all those things. But
Mhm.
in this sense, R&R on Sports
Mhm.
stands for Robinson and Robertson. And we are here and we're telling you to please download the app. Go to Google Play,
Mhm.
go to the Play Store,
Mhm.
and go to the App Store and download the Kazuki app so you can listen to all the past R&R on Sports.
It'll come up when they put it in.
Yeah, just put in Kazuki or
Okay.
R&R and on Sports, and it'll come right up.
All right. Do
All right,
R&R because y'all can't remember Kazuki.
KUD,
how to spell it or
KIA.
whatever. How you doing?
Man, I'm wonderful, brother.
So-
Looking at all this sports.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening. Let's start talking about however.
Yeah.
Howsoever, let's start to talk about the impact that COVID has made. Both
Wait a minute,
with-
didn't you have like a saying like a Kia, a Kiss My and Kima? Was it Kima?
Uh-huh.
Kiss my and tie. Yeah. So I got that for the NFL for not recognizing Martin Luther King on
King
his
Day.
birthday, on King Day. You have a football game,
Uh-huh.
a nationally televised football game
Mhm.
on King Day, and you don't
And
give
you had a bunch of them
and
the
you-
day before.
and you don't give Dr. King no love. After
No.
all that, and the fact that your league is 60 to 70% black, and
Sure
you can't give Brother King no love,
Mm-mm.
man. Screw you, NFL. I know I'm back to where I was before, man. Forget y'all,
You back
man.
there.
Y'all don't treat us right, man. The
man.
NFL don't
Oh,
treat
man.
brothers right, man. You know, yeah, the brothers can get out there and get CTE and all that, but ain't no head coaches in the NFL, ain't no general managers, ain't no black general managers, and now you not even recognize one of the most important people in black American history and American history, and you don't even recognize them, man. Screw you, NFL.
Who does
Screw you,
that?
Roger
Who does
Goodell.
that? But who do you think the lack of? I
don't give a
you think
damn.
it's a lack of awareness or a lack of attention?
Mm-mm. It's a lack of anything that has any respect for black people. There's no respect for black people.
Are you saying
in
that the NFL doesn't have any respect for
Not
black
at all.
people?
Outside of the gladiators in the middle of the stadium, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. And that's what you saw the other day when the people walking off the Dallas Cowboys was walking off the field. They throwing bottles and stuff at them, man. I mean, man, they treat them dudes in the NFL, they treat the black men in the NFL like pure D animals, like animals. And I'm done, man. I'm done. When you don't respect us like that, and so much of us make up your sport, I got a problem with that. I mean, they didn't even recognize Dr. King at all. Didn't even have a moment of silence or nothing. Man, if I wish the boys in the NFL would get some balls. I mean, literally, man. How do you not hold the NFL accountable for not recognizing someone who has such a profound impact on the way that you're treated in everyday life?
It's called wanting to keep your job. That's what it's called. We're going to talk about much more here on R&R. Hope you stay with us. We will be back momentarily.
Yo, this your boy Chris Brown.
David West of the Golden State Warriors. Hey, this is Dr. J.
This is Shaq Adocious.
Yo, what's up? This is Ice Cube.
And you're listening to a little R&R. R&R on sports.
Riffin' on jazz.
Mr. Chuck.
Yes, sir. Here we
doing,
are.
man?
Oh man, I'm ready to get some history
Back
going
again.
on.
We got it. We got
This
it for
is
you.
it.
We've got it for you. Today we're doing 8 eras of jazz.
Yes.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kazookian Network.
Welcome to another edition of Fly on the Wall. Recently, there was a meeting between Roger Goodell of the NFL and his public relations team about his future as commissioner of the National Football League. And now, listen in as you become a fly on the wall.
Hey guys, thanks for getting together on such short notice. Of course, you know the situation and...
Shut up, Pete. That's very rude. Let him finish.
Well, I'm just saying, things don't look so rosy.
You're right, and that's why you're here, because I need to know just how we need to spin this thing.
Come on, Raj. You're toast, man. So however we spin it, we've got to spin you out of there. Either you resign or get sacked.
But how do I keep my good name?
You're good. What?
Shut up, Pete. That's more rude than before. But I think I got something. You're going to resign because guess what? You're blind. You can't see. You didn't see anything. The video or anything else. So you're resigning from the NFL to be a blind singer. Why should Stevie Wonder and Jose Feliciano be the only ones? We can call you Roger Charles, Ray's distant white cousin.
What?
Come on, try this. I got a woman
I got a
way
woman
across town.
way
She's good to
across-
me. Now
she-
try this.
she
Baby,
good-
what I say?
Baby, what I
Baby, what I say right now?
Baby, what I
We'll
say
get it together.
right?
We'll get it together. Look, Pete, you still got Jay-Z's number?
Yeah, I got it. Just talk to Jay.
Call him.
I don't know
This is
about
going to be
this.
great. This is going to be great. Come on.
I
I got a woman.
I got a woman.
Oh, Lord.
Hello?
Hey, Jay-Z. Listen, man, I'm calling with Roger Goodell, man. We got it. He's going to be the next great. Listen to this. I got a woman
I got a woman.
way across town.
Way
She's good to me.
across-
It, baby, what
so good
it's
to
gonna
me.
be it's gonna be dynamic, man. It's gonna be fantastic. But we need you to produce it, man.
Hey, B, put Blue down. Come on over and listen to this. Hey.
I got a woman. Come
I
on.
got a woman.
Way across town.
Way over there.
We can get it together in the mix, man.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh, yeah. Say, I got a woman way over town, good to me. Oh, yeah. She give me money.
Blues in the basement.
Professor, you came up with this. I love this double dose. We're going to have the Dr. John in the double dose.
Blues in the basement. Get together, let the good time roll. Part of the Kazookian Network.
R&R on Sports on the Kazookian Network.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports. So part deux. Trois.
Yeah. What's twat?
3.
Yeah, no. So what part 3?
What are you saying do for? That's 2.
Oh, well, hey, man.
Is that what they taught you
I
in
lost
Louisville?
count.
Yeah,
we
obviously,
lose count.
Okay.
We lose count at times,
So,
I didn't have enough toes and fingers.
So Kyrie is back.
Yeah.
For
Kyrie's
away
back.
games.
Clay Thompson's back.
Clay Thompson's
for 20
back.
minutes a game.
Right. And Djokovic.
Okay. Is the MVP of the league.
Did they say that he got it wrong, or they got it wrong, or he lied? about having a vaccine or whatever.
Oh man, it's so many people lying, man. I mean, what I do appreciate about Kyrie is Kyrie was been a man. Kyrie has been a straight up man about the whole process. I'm not getting vaccinated. Don't ask me about getting vaccinated. I don't care about Kevin Durant getting hurt, and it ain't gonna happen.
I know I'm losing money. So
right. I ain't got no problem with that. So move on, because I ain't getting vaccinated. And I appreciate that. I appreciate his candor, because all I say is, man, if you ain't vaccinated, you ain't gonna take no whoopings at this point. So just say I ain't getting vaccinated. I'm cool with that. Or I'd rather not answer, whatever the case may be. But why you gotta lie about it?
But you know what? It is entirely it has to do with where you are, because anywhere else, Kyrie wouldn't have had a problem. He was in New York, and they were not budging one iota. Djokovic was in Australia, and they more serious than the U.S. ever will be.
No.
And so they were not budging one iota, and he had to pay the price. I mean, he was trying to finesse it or position
damn
it,
sure tried
lie,
to finesse. Yeah,
whatever you want to call it.
He tried to finesse it.
Yeah.
That's shorthand for lie. And they busted him up.
Said, tell you what, finesse your ass on up out of here.
And don't let the doorknob hit you.
But man, there's such an intersection between life and sports now at every hand, and we're seeing it. And we've talked about, the mental health issues that some high-profile players have. We've talked about, COVID. We've talked about racism and all of that. It seems that there's a collision course now between an unavoidable, and it's always been unavoidable, but a lot of people managed to avoid it in the past, but now it's crashing.
I don't think it's avoidable. I really
don't think it is anymore.
I don't think it is anymore. So many people, we've had 3 people here at the company that have had COVID. We've had several people, family members and whatnot, and we've had some deaths due to COVID. So at this point in the game, man, I just don't see us getting around this thing. And I think it's here to stay. And I think it's something we're going to have to learn to live with and learn to deal with. Very similar to what we deal with the flu, the cold, and everything else.
Somebody told me that their father or somebody in their family just said, you know what? We're fighting to live. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty deep. We're fighting to live. That's what's happening. It is a fight now to stay well, stay healthy, do what you and just to live.
Would you say that the NBA and the other sports leagues have done the right thing by COVID?
Have done the right thing by COVID?
As far as protecting the players and making sure that they're got the right policies and procedures in place in regards to COVID.
I think the NBA led the way on that. With the bubble and all of that, and with the fans, and even when they started playing back, there was separation and distancing on the sideline. It was easy to separate in the stands because there were no fans.
There were no fans.
So I think the NBA was the most responsible league. I can't, in terms of the NFL, there again, they ain't gonna be the leading cutting edge of anything.
They cutting edge on making that money. They one thing they good and cutting edge on. Shoot, when the CEO makes like a couple $100 million, they cutting edge on that. I think
tennis has, because tennis. USTA, but the Tennis Federation is such a global organization that it depends on where you are.
Right.
Protocols of the country. Again, the Australian Open in Australia, and they don't play in Australia.
Right.
With COVID. They do not play. And that's why they have handled it very, very well.
Okay.
Even more so than the U.S. But yeah, I mean, it's been very, very interesting.
Let me ask you a question. Just segueing a little bit. Let's talk about a little NBA.
Yeah.
LA Lakers.
Yeah.
Do you see that their issues are fixable? I mean, do you think they're going to turn it over second half of the season? You think they're going to be back in the game?
I think they're fixable, but at the stage that they are right now, you have to you got to really want to win, and you got to find ways to win, and that's got to transcend just one or two or three players.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to permeate the entire organization.
Absolutely.
Now, whether or not that's there, I can't say.
I think what's interesting to me is that they still seem to be somewhat sleepwalking from the bubble championship.
Really? From the bubble?
Yeah, I don't think they ever made it back. I think LeBron and them complaining about coming back too soon, then moving to Anthony Davis getting hurt. Now you move into this season. Anthony Davis seemed to never get his game back together. Now he, hurt again. And what I see now is if the Lakers don't make some major trades, I think we're going to see an amazing season by LeBron James in which he will end the season with a major injury because of just the load. I think his load is too high for a player that's been that many leagues.
I watched them when they were here in Memphis playing against the Grizzlies, a game that the Grizzlies won, by the way. And I was watching it, and the best way for me to describe what I saw was flashes. Flashes.
Yes.
On the part of the Lakers.
Yeah. I think as far as LeBron is concerned, I think he's not interested in or he's not capable of carrying a team for 48 minutes.
Anymore.
Yeah, anymore. I don't think he's
that's
got
what he
that.
did. That's what he did at with Cleveland.
He's been doing it for the Lakers.
But he was young. But he was a lot younger.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, at this stage of the game, I think he's capable of maintaining a high level of play, not a high level of defense because of just the actual load, but also I think he's I think because of what it's going to take for him to keep them in contention. I think this year, sometime around the end of the season, or maybe in March, April, I can see him suffering a major injury.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can see him suffering a major injury. I don't want to wish that on him, but I just think LeBron James' load is too high for someone that has that many years in the league. I know he's a freak of nature, and I love him dearly, but I think that this is going to be his undoing. I think this season.
Wow. Well, let's see. We will see. We got a phenomenal friend back with us.
Scoop.
Scoop Jackson, ESPN analyst supreme, and a good friend of R&R on Sports. Right here, back again. Don't go anywhere. He's up after this.
Hey, I'm Williams Brack, co-host of Grind Set. The insight you gain from us and our guests will motivate you to take the leap into entrepreneurship. So stay with us. What's your grind set? And if you happen to miss some of our episodes, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast provider.
Grind Set on the Kadzukian Network.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports.
Scoop.
All right, that's the introduction for our friend back again on R&R on Sports, brother Robert Scoop Jackson.
What's going on, Kevin?
I didn't mean to use your government name, man.
Happy 2022 to y'all.
Yeah. Hey, happy 2022 to you, brother.
Absolutely.
It's funny we're talking on Joe Biden's anniversary.
Joe. Hey, you need to talk to Joe sometime. I wish I had his number.
All right, give me some quick takes. Give me some quick takes on the season, man. What is standing out to you? What's not?
Which season? Football,
basketball,
man.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm not like some of these other old haters that are complaining about the play being subpar. across the league. A lot of players haven't played because of whatever reason, injury / safety protocol. We really haven't had a chance to really see what teams have the possibility of looking like. But I've loved the competition because, a lot of these cats in here on these 10 days, man.
Yes, sir.
They're hooping like their lives on the line.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, while we don't see the bulk of the superstars, we seeing real cats out here hooping. And
it reminds me of Summer League.
Yeah.
You seeing real ball.
It reminds me of Summer League. I've always told people, man, if you want to see some amazing basketball, go to Summer League in Vegas because these guys are playing for their literal life in the game. Yeah. And they leave it on the line. And what you're seeing is these guys is coming in for these 10 days, like your Stanley Johnsons of the world.
Yeah.
And they like, nah, brother, you done let me in the door. You're gonna have a hell of a time getting me out of here.
And the rest of the statement that they're making is that I'm not intimidated.
Right.
I got game. I can play this stuff, and I'm gonna show you.
Right.
I'm gonna show you.
Well, we know that we know how this works, man. You have a lot of cats that are in the G League playing ball overseas, and some cats not even hooping, but should be hooping.
Right.
They should be in league. So we're talking about days, months, years that these cats have been waiting and working towards getting back in the league. So in their minds, they're like, the minute I get in, and you have people that even were in the league and not in the league. If they still got a little bit of game, a la like a Joe Johnson or a la like a Lance Stevenson, they're like, yo, if I get one more shot at this, I'm going out on my own terms next time.
Hey, so, Lance let him know, boy. Lance let him know.
He did. But we're dealing with a situation where they weren't expecting their re-entry or entry into the league to happen the way it did. But now that they're there, we're talking about cats with months and years of that being on their mind. And that opportunity getting to them.
Right.
Well, you know what? I think we're seeing that not just in basketball, but across the board. I think we're seeing that kind of attitude across the board in sports. And I think one thing that has driven it is that people have begun, certainly, if nothing else happened to you, you have started to think about your own mortality. Absolutely. You have started to think of you know enough folk that have gotten sick. You know enough folk that ain't here no more. You have seen enough illness, the devastation of being sick is, and you know nothing's promised. So I think that has driven this real sense of urgency and sincerity.
And intentionality.
Because you see it in football, you see it in basketball, you see it in tennis. You see people that the younger ones that are coming up that are taking no prisoners and saying, if I don't get no other chance again, I'm gonna take full advantage of this one.
Right. And I think that mentality, is spreading across all landscapes and maybe not even just sports.
Life. You're right. You're right.
Right. I've seen it in life where you see people who have gotten that cushion and gotten comfortable enough to lose their employment situations, but have decided I'm not going back.
I ain't going back.
I ain't going back.
These other people who didn't have those opportunities,
exactly right. That's exactly right.
They're going in hard.
Exactly right. That's exactly right.
This is R&R Sports, and we're speaking with the great sports columnist, Robert Scoop Jackson. Scoop, when we talk about this year, and it's a great segue talking about going hard, here in Memphis, we got probably one of the brightest stars that's happening right now on the NBA scene in Ja Morant. What are you seeing in Ja? And literally, I heard a question the other day. Is he the best point guard in the league?
I think, let me answer this in reverse.
Okay.
I think we get caught up in the use of whatever.
Greatest, best.
I think what it means right now more than anything, and let me rephrase it or make it more.
No. Don't rephrase it because you said it like you heard it.
Okay, go ahead.
That's exactly you said you heard.
That's where I heard it. Yeah,
as it was presented to you.
Yes.
My thing is that we need to be more specific about what we say and how we approach things vocally when asking questions like that, or trying to make points like that, or trying to see how someone feels about something like that.
Okay.
Very similar to when we pray, how we need to be specific about what we ask God for.
Right.
Like you need to get down there in detail.
Right.
Like if you're single and you're like, God, I want a man. All right, that's exactly what God will send you. You know, and you rather be single again, but you didn't get specific.
Right.
So when people say that about Ja, for me, rephrase that question in the form of the answer that he is the best point guard playing right now.
Yes.
He's playing the best version of a point guard in the NBA right now.
Yes.
I'm not going to throw that blanket over the word best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to throw that, which is a shorter version of the word greatest, because it takes years to get great.
Right.
It usually takes time to get to that best situation. But in this moment right now, he's the best point guard playing basketball. There's no question. Now to think about that, and to me, that's why you need that type of clarity and that type of specificity, is that could change in March.
Sure, it could.
It could. Absolutely.
Sure, it could.
We could have a whole nother answer by the time April comes.
Absolutely.
So my thing with Ja right there is, yes, he's earned the right to say right now that he's without question the best point guard playing basketball in this moment.
All right.
Because you all know in November and December, Steph Curry was the runaway.
Yeah.
So,
hands down.
Right. So now if Steph gets his game back and Ja stays where he is right now,
can be any minute now.
Right.
Right back there. Yeah.
And that's why I mentioned the word greatness, because one of the things that I feel is the reason we need to get specific with our language and the questions we ask is because in times like that, like if Steph gets back to Steph mode and Ja is still playing at the level he's playing at, that's usually when greatness trumps best. Because what you bring to the table in Steph is not necessarily what he's doing right now, but how long he's been doing this.
Right.
Because great is a longer term. Right. Greatness is a longer term condition. If
it is. It is. So Ja hasn't made it to that automatic first ballot Hall of Fame conversation yet. Steph, we know, is automatically in. So if Steph gets back to playing that, even if he and Ja playing at the same level, that legacy that Steph is already putting down is going to be, Steph's the best point guard in the NBA right now. You know, it's going to trump all that Ja is doing. It's going to trump him in the barbershop bar and backyard conversation. It's going to trump him in the MVP vote conversation. It's going to trump him in the All-NBA conversation.
Right.
That's why I wanted to get specific with you all about how we choose to use these words and get specific about what we say.
I say it a lot. I appreciate the precision of verbiage and what you just pointed out.
Yeah, I think it's necessary right now because we're living in a society of generalization. And everybody wants to generalize everything.
And everything's a hot take. It's so hyperbolic. I mean,
everything is in the moment. Like the greatest thing right now is the greatest thing ever. And we get lost with any sense of history when we continue to do that.
Absolutely.
But for Ja's purpose, what he's doing right now is special. And nobody in the league is doing that, especially in his position. Right. So for this moment right now, he's not only playing the best brand of basketball at the point guard position, he's the baddest point guard in the game in this moment.
Right.
The thing is the sustainability. And I'll answer, and I'll finish on this, and this will answer the second question about how I feel about it, is I don't want him to fall into the trap of playing well now, and at the end of the season, we have him in this conversation, and then he falls out of that conversation.
Right.
AKA Luka Doncic.
Right. Right.
You know, last year Luka was like, all right, he's MVP, he's the best, and he's had a not so Luka-like half a season. Right. And now he's falling out of the
He's falling out of the All-Star game consideration.
He's not.
Right, exactly.
He's not getting the votes at all.
No, not at all. And there's been some injury, but it's been his play.
Right.
You know, the same thing we can be said about like Joel Embiid. We could damn sure say the same thing about Ben Simmons. You know, he went from he went from 60 to the driveway quick.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like it was a wrap. His shirt got folded and it was over. So my thing is with Ja is I'd like to see him maintain what he's doing right now over the course of at least 2 more seasons.
Well, we want to hear while we're calling names. I want to bring up when we come back. I want you to talk about a cat whose initials would be Kyrie Irving. Back for more R&R on Sports right after this.
Blues in the basement.
Hello.
And the lyrics of the blues songs like Bobby Rush can sometimes be a little risque. We just got the music on.
Blues.
Instrumentals.
Loving it.
I don't care if you're young or old.
Blues in the basement.
Get together, let the good time roll.
Part of the Kazukian Network.
With brother Scoop Jackson. So I gave you the initials of a guy that you said that you had just spent a little time with, and I want you to talk about your impressions. Talk about what y'all talked about if you like. But
yeah, I'm sorry, it wasn't that long of a conversation, man. It was right. He was coming back from the locker room, and I was in the right outside his locker room as the national anthem was going on, and he was ready to get back on the court, and I was like, "Yo, what's up?" He said, and he looked, said, "What's up?" and he stopped, and he realized it was me.
It was
like,
you.
"Oh, what's up?" And we bond. I say, "You good? You good? Welcome back." Yeah, cool. So gave me a he said, "You gonna be here after the game?" I said, "Yep, I'll be here after the game." So really,
this was a real brother hug, huh? Social. Come on, now.
It wasn't
Don't
socially
clean it
distanced
up.
hug.
Don't clean it up, Scoop. And the initials of the guy.
It wasn't like that.
We talking about we're talking about Kyrie Irving. So y'all had a real hug because you were masked up and all of that.
Yep, all masked up, real hug, all masked up.
Our people want to know.
Well, listen, I miss Kyrie, and I want to know what was your thoughts about him? What's your thoughts about him coming back? And then the fact that he's not getting vaccinated under any circumstances.
No, I get it. And here's the thing. Like I said, we just did something on ESPN for him that's going to air probably tomorrow, Friday. And in doing that, the one thing I did, I wanted to put my eyes on him. Like I had the opportunity when I got assigned to do the piece on him. I said, "Oh, he's coming to Chicago. His second game, on the road is going to be in Chicago. So I'll go to the game and I can really just concentrate and watch him and see how he interacts, see how he vibes, see how his flow is, and not wait for television cameras and producers to keep cameras on him. I can do this by myself." So I was able to get a read on a lot of things. But the one thing I did get a read on and just paying attention to him and then just watching him interact, especially, behind the scenes a little bit, is the comfortability that he has within that unit and how we may be glad to see him back, but they are like super glad to see him back.
Really?
And I don't think it's necessarily only because of what he does on the basketball court and how he can increase their chances of winning basketball games. I think it's just having this dude on the court who literally was responsible for putting this whole thing together.
Absolutely. He was the chemistry.
Right.
He was the chemistry.
Right. So
the blending agent or whatever they call it.
And I think everybody that plays for the Nets understands that this is almost Kyrie's vision that they're playing with. And to finally see him back, there's a sense of, like you said, happiness that he's back on the court for that purpose too. And as you were saying, I realize how much I miss him, as we just were saying off air, that we do miss him. We didn't expect it to happen like that, but I think we also miss him, not because of how he plays and what he brings to the game, but we've really been teased over this is going into season 3, about what this is supposed to look like. About what this plan is supposed to look like.
That is
you
very
think about
true.
the pandemic season which was wound up being a bubble.
Right.
Kevin Durant was injured that whole time.
Yeah.
You think about last season, the abbreviated season, where Kevin was back, and then they had the whole James Harden thing they're trying to get together.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we're talking about 2.5 full seasons of basketball where these three dudes have only played 16 games together.
Right.
So part of us missing Kyrie is missing what we want to see is this next form or this next dimension of NBA greatness.
Absolutely.
We want to see what this looks like. We want to see what this type of dominance is supposed to look like when it's all together, because Kyrie put the vision out there. He did what he could along with the, with the front office staff and all this idea to put this thing together. And they've done what they could to put it on paper, get it in front of us, but we haven't seen it on the floor. So while we do miss Kyrie, I think we miss all of that. Because that's really what we want to see. We really want to see that. And we got excited when we saw him back, and then Kevin got hurt.
Well, I stopped counting at approximately $8 million in lost revenues. You got any idea where it is now?
No, because you know what, Larry? The way I look at it is that I've learned in this game to stop looking at monetary value at face value and the money lost. Because the one thing that they're losing in money, they're gaining in money by staying relevant. Okay. I had this argument with people at ESPN a long time ago when they started talking about how Kobe was they started at the 7th best player in the game, and he went down to like the 20th, and every year they were dropping Kobe's value because he wasn't on the court. And then they started doing stories about he was the one, because of the size of his contract was an albatross inside the Lakers on this organization, and was the reason they could not make moves and the reason they were not winning. And I'm like, and Ice Cube made a point to me, and I took that point and ran with it. He said, it's not about Kobe playing on the court. It's about Kobe still being connected to this organization that's keeping their value intact. Because if you remove Kobe from the Los Angeles Lakers, even when he's not playing, they become the Detroit Pistons instantly. Ooh. And I laughed, but I was like, damn, dude, you are exactly right. So while we're looking at what the Lakers weren't able to do on the court spending, their global value stayed intact because Kobe Bryant was still attached to that team.
Right.
Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, those two together, you remove them from the Brooklyn Nets, whether they're on the court or not, their value is gone. So you can lose $8 million, but take them off or trade them or don't have them associated with your team right now.
The value is exponential.
The value is plummeting.
Yeah.
The
loss is exponential.
I stopped looking at that day-to-day, spreadsheet. I'm looking at the big overall number of their value. Not how much money they're losing, the value of the franchise, the value of the organization, and where it sits inside of this global ecosystem of sports. Because trust me, right now, the Brooklyn Nets are one of the most valuable franchises in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Now, you take Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving away from that, see where their value ends up at.
You know who they become? They become the St. Jude Nets.
This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with world-renowned journalist, basketball commentator, Scoop Jackson. Scoop, that's a great segue. Are the Lakers fixable? Are they going to get this thing right out there in L.A.?
This season?
Yeah.
Question is when?
Right.
When are you talking about?
Well, there's another question that comes with this question.
Okay.
Your definition of fixable is winning championship or competing for a championship?
Competing for a championship. Let's make that fixable.
I think it is fixable. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Do I think they will beat someone in the West to get through and really compete for a championship? I don't think that's going to happen this season.
You don't think it's going to happen this season?
No, I don't think so.
Where do you see them ending up this year if you had to look in your crystal ball?
It really all depends on two things. If Anthony Davis is able to get back on the court, stay healthy, which is kind of one thing. But
Street
also,
clothes?
if he's but also once he's on the court, if his mentality changes and he gets off of this this post bubble championship hangover he seems to have,
Yes.
he doesn't seem as hungry
No.
and dominant
Not at
as he
all.
once was, even when he's healthy and playing. So if he returns to that, and if Frank Vogel can get back, and I'm putting Phil Handy in this as well, if they can get back to getting this team to making some sort of commitment to defense,
Right.
then they have a chance to at least play up against a Phoenix, play up against a Memphis, play up against the Warriors, play up against a team where they challenge them for some type of spot in either the West Coast semifinals or in the West Coast finals.
So I want to ask you. I want to ask
Rick.
you this. We get you talking about basketball, and that's a natural all the time. But across the landscape of sports, what is prominent and top of mind for you, no matter what sport it is right now?
That's a good question.
I'm full of
Because it fluctuates.
Okay.
And as I say it this way, like if you had asked me that question Monday, which
It
was
would've been- yeah.
was the day this country celebrated Dr. King Day, right?
Right.
If you had asked me that question Monday, my answer would have been, how come with all these NFL games going on and this wild card, super wild card playoffs, was the NBA the only league that honored Dr. King?
Only league.
NFL is sitting around somewhere between 60 and 70% black as far as players are concerned. Ownership is a whole nother thing. But not only did the NFL is the NFL not doing anything to acknowledge Dr. King publicly, nobody's challenging them on that.
None whatsoever.
And give me a second. That game started when my wife was running the National Civil Rights Museum, and there were 3 people instrumental in starting that King Day game, which started first in Memphis. Memphis was the only NBA team that had a King Day game originally.
Yes.
That started as a direct result of a collaboration between the National Civil Rights Museum, the guy that was head of business operations for the Grizzlies, whose name was Andy Dolich, and NBA.
David Stern.
David Stern.
Yes, David Stern and his group.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know, but here's the thing. Since it's been done, and you've seen where the NBA has taken that initiative and spread it from one team to every team, even to their G League. They have made this standard practice inside their organization.
Absolutely.
And it's been done at this level for, I'll give it 6, 7, 8 years, something like that, however long it's been done. You can't tell me at some point did the NFL or has the NFL ever picked up and realized that at least, you know what? We're playing football at the same time that the country is celebrating this man's holiday.
That's right.
They played a game on Martin Luther King birthday.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I mean, they did not acknowledge Dr. King at all.
Right.
All.
And they haven't. So I had this saying for the last 3 years. This has been an issue with me. But here's the thing. Once the day is done, it's on to something next.
Right.
Because your frustration has to go because, it's gone and done now. And they never did anything. And what can we do? What can I do to make this a point to call the NFL out and call basically every sport out, but the NFL is first and foremost because they are active at this time.
They're active.
So,
they're active.
Larry, I answer your question in that if you asked me Monday, that's what my answer would have been.
That's a good answer.
Today.
Fine answer.
Yeah, no, today.
It's only 2 days later.
It's only 2 days away. And it's really not going anywhere. Right. And it's really, really not going anywhere. But once again, it shifts. Mm-hmm. It shifts. Now, my shift has gone on to, since we've had Black Monday in the NFL, looking at what's going to happen to these brothers.
What is one? It's one coach?
No, I'm not looking at a number. I'm just looking at what's going to happen with these brothers, and the opportunities they're not going to get for some of these head coaching positions, and to pay attention and make sure I don't drop my eyes on how superficial some of these opportunities really are. Like, is Byron Leftwich really, really, really going to get an opportunity? Because usually offensive coordinators in the NFL, that's the first point of contact.
Right.
Defensive coordinators, they'll hire any D, especially that's where brothers get the opportunity because they hire defensive coordinators in the NFL to save teams.
Right.
They hire offensive coordinators in the NFL to win Super Bowls.
Right.
And very rarely do they give brothers those opportunities. So my thing right now is looking at some of these brothers. Are they really, really going to get a chance? And at the top of that list right now, especially since he won the Super Bowl last year, is Byron Leftwich.
Brian Leftwich, you got Eric Bieniemy.
Right now, I was like, are they really going to give this brother a chance? Are they really going to give a chance? So that's where it is right now.
You got Eric Bieniemy that has literally been in the championship game the last 3 years, AFC and Super Bowl the last 2 years, and literally no opportunity. And they got a kid down there in Dallas who hasn't won a playoff game, and they already interviewing him for head coaching job.
And I was about to bring that up. I was about to say
this kid ain't won nothing.
It's amazing to me how McCarthy is not like in the conversation to not be there anymore. But how this dude was a part of, and he is initially, from what I read, he was the initiator of that quarterback sneak. He initiated it, McCarthy okayed it, and then they ran it. But he initiated the play that didn't give Dallas a chance to win that football game, but he's still at the top of everybody's conversation.
Right, absolutely.
On top of everybody's list.
Absolutely.
Making a mistake like that.
Absolutely.
Look, let one of us do that.
Well, wait a minute. I can tell you, we had an interview with a great defensive back, and literally in a separate conversation, he said, literally, it's just not going to happen. He said these owners, and in his own experience, they said, I need to feel comfortable with who's running my team.
That's it.
And he said he said his jaw almost dropped to the floor. He said, because here's a man he had been working with for years.
Yeah.
And it didn't even matter. Didn't even matter, because he basically told him, I ain't comfortable with you being the general manager, and I'm not comfortable with hiring a black head coach.
And here's the deal. It's not just that. It's also he's not comfortable with having to answer for that amongst his group when that brother's not there.
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
At the country club, on the golf course, when y'all
right in the owners' meeting behind closed doors, before DeMarcus Morris, gets in the room.
Say that.
Wow.
Say that.
Yeah.
Wow. Scoop Jackson.
Before we get behind it, before we are able to sit at the table, it's the conversations that they have when we're not around that he has to answer to by having a black coach. And people always tend to point out Mike Tomlin, and which is fine. But what they fail to make anyone understand is, one, the Rooneys and the Pittsburgh Steelers are totally different than any other NFL franchise. One, they have the damn rule named after the owner.
Rooney Rule,
set in place to try to at least give people of color a fair chance. So that shows you right there they're different. But two, listen, they've only had 4 head coaches in the entire existence of that franchise. So it's not only about Mike Tomlin. It's not just about Mike Tomlin being black. It's about they stay and are loyal to their coaches.
Yes.
So if Mike Tomlin was polka dot, he going to be there 15, 20 years. They just don't go through coaches like that.
Right.
So it's about their organization on a twofold. Most other NFL organizations don't run like that. So whenever anybody mentions Mike Tomlin, I'm like, that's an anomaly. Not just him as a black man, but that whole organization, that situation is an anomaly. Don't use that as to, balance what you feel is going right with the NFL, because that's the only thing right in the NFL. And in this situation, they're not even part of the NFL.
Well, here we are.
No team in the NFL functions like they do.
Here we are, 2022, and we got one black NFL coach.
All right. Well, before y'all get us put off the air with all this radicalism, we gonna thank you, brother. Thank you. Good to see you again, too, man. You're looking good.
Shoot, man, look like he's running marathons or something. He must be on a vegan diet.
Somebody taking good care of you. You need to tell somebody thank you in addition to the Lord. But somebody else you need to say thank you to. I know.
Hell,
Make sure you do that.
Look, and y'all, because I know y'all on Gus's chicken, but I'm telling you. It's Harold Fry's chicken and good whiskey. That's it.
There you have it. The keys to life. Living long and good. Scoop, thank you, man.
All right,
gotta
man,
have you back real soon. Don't be gone so long.
We talk soon.
Absolutely, brother.
All right, now.
Back for more R&R on Sports after this.
Humans Being with Kirk Whalum.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, now I'm going to say my friend, Jonathan Capehart.
You came up and tapped me on my shoulder and you said, I'm a big fan. My name's Kirk Whalum. And I just about jumped out of my skin because I was like, wait, Kirk Whalum is saying hi to me? He's a fan of mine? Get out of here.
Humans Being with Kirk Whalum.
Back for more R&R as we head toward the door.
See ya.
And
Arrivederci.
We always like to say goodbye in our own inimitable ways. And
Audi
5,000. Yeah. So want to bid a fond hail and farewell to Boston Celtics great Sam Jones.
Oh man, yeah.
Sam Jones was very, 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 very special. I know him from I'm on the board of what was the one of the first black boarding schools called the Laurinburg Institute. It's in Laurinburg, North Carolina, and he was a graduate of Laurinburg, and very, very proud alum of Laurinburg, and they were very, very proud of him. So you talking about consistency. You talking about just a solid player and a solid human being. That was Sam Jones.
Wow. Well, my shout out is to the brother Klay Thompson for the Golden State Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I am watching this kid play, man, and for him, you know, we talk about that urgency, that urgency for living.
Mm-hmm.
And what I see with Klay Thompson is that urgency for, you know what, I'm going to leave it all on the court because tomorrow's not promised. And I think his injuries for the last 2 years have given him a sense of intentionality as it relates to the game of basketball. So I want to give a good shout out to Klay Thompson, even though I'm not a Golden State Warriors fan.
I want to give a shout out to Klay Thompson too. So the next time my son set up a surprise, was trying to set up a surprise meeting with Klay Thompson because Klay Thompson is one of her favorites. And we were at the game and so they got beat, right? The Grizzlies beat them. And so all of a sudden Klay didn't feel like coming out to take a picture with my grandbaby Addison. So next time, Klay, next time, all right? You win a few, you lose a few, brother. So plan to come out and say hello.
Cool. Listen, if you missed anything, please check out the Kazukian app or go to R&R, go to the Kazukian website. You can download the app. You can do all these things, but check out the app. If you missed it, you can always hear all of our past shows and the current ones as well.
All right. Y'all take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Be back with us here next week, same time, same place on our own sports. I'm Howard Robertson.
And I'm the great one, Larry Robinson.
We would be out later.
You've been listening to a little R&R on sports, written and produced by Howard Robertson, Larry Robinson, recorded and mixed in Memphis, Tennessee.